But this is indeed a very sad situation. Barrister Mbeseha, what do you think?
Well, I think it's the saddest situation we could ever imagine. It is even sad when we find our own brothers and sisters condoning in this type of rubbish. Are people who are supposed to know what to say or what to do in these circumstances coalesce with the government of Cameroon to do these things to us, directly or indirectly. And this will take me to something that maybe people had looked at it before I came last week. I was not here. There was this gentleman who calls himself Julius Fondon, who claims to work for the United Nations and thinks that if there is war and Ambazonians are fleeing to Yaoundé, there could be no genocide against them. That's the guy, if his claim is right, that he works for the United Nations, we should give him the credit of having some knowledge. But based on what we have just heard now, what is happening to us, can we say that these people who involuntarily went to the Republic of Cameroon, be it Yaoundé, be it Douala, be it anywhere, are they because they want to be there? Are they because they are safer there than where they were? Certainly not. Certainly not. Because those who have fled to Yaoundé, to Douala, or any other town there have survived on their own. The government has had to extort taxes from them. The government has closed its eyes to crimes committed against these people. Nobody is punished. You say they are acts of private individuals. No, it is the government's responsibility to take care of the internally displaced. I've had this opportunity many times to say here. The government of Yaoundé, to the best of my knowledge, has done nothing in Douala, where the large number of our people are found, in Yaoundé, or any other town to take care of those internally displaced people. You go there, you go there at your own risk. If you have to set up a makeshift store at the corner of the road, that's for you. But they will not let you do it until you pay taxes to them. They will extort it from you more. And if you don't do it, they will come with their bulldozers and pull down the building. And so this is these are people who have escaped danger, like we say, falling from the fire, from the frying pan to fire. And Mr. Julius Fondon may not understand this. During war, anywhere in the world, people escape to where they just escape at random. They escape to where you think you can find shelter. Even if you have a neighbor who has been so hostile to you and your house is burning, you will run into his house, thinking that at least you will escape from fire. So the fact that our people go to Yaoundé is not because they are going to find to Yaoundé or Bafoussam or Douala or La République in general. It's not because there's better work there. It's not because those people there or the government there is taking care of them. It's not to minimize what the government of Cameroon has done to them to force them out of their own houses to flee. How many people from Ikombang fled to Yaoundé? Very few. They fled to Nigeria because that was the nearest safe point they could get to. How many people come out from Akwaya, for example, fled to Yaoundé? Almost nobody. They crossed to Nigeria because that was where they could find safety. And they are better there in Nigeria, perhaps, than what people are doing, going through in Yaoundé. And so it is sad, very, very sad, that this thing is happening to us. But it is sadder when Ambazonians, purportedly educated, are siding with this type of criminals, this type of criminal actions against us. And since I was not here, I don't know where to discuss this. And I want to use this to tell Mr. Julius Abendon, Julius Fondon, that genocide, when we say genocide is committed, we're not saying that Republic citizens came and committed genocide. We're saying the government, with their agents, they committed suicide. Genocide can be committed by a single individual as long as the aim is to eliminate that group of people, a community, a group of people for their race, for whatever thing they belong to. It is genocide. It is genocide. Nobody ever complained that an ordinary farmer in Bafoussam or in Chang was committing genocide. No, it is committed by individuals. It doesn't reduce the degree of the genocide committed against us just because we escape. and try to seek shelter there. Shelter which has been refused because the institutions in place that are supposed to take care of the people have totally ignored them. They don't even care. I mean, they're in Douala, in Yaoundé. In fact, they participate in causing more suffering to them, directly or indirectly. Why? Because you expect the protection of government. If government turns its a blind eye, the authorities turn their blind eye to your suffering. They are accomplices to what you are going through. And so what's happening to our people in Yaoundé, in Douala, or anywhere else in the Republic of Cameroon, I would say it's indirectly sponsored by the government. And if this story is true of what I saw yesterday, where the people's houses were destroyed, I want to ask, they said, go back to where you belong. You're Anglophones. Go away. What does this mean? What has the government done? What has Mr. Mosonge's commission on whatever nonsense he calls it? They're done. Silent. That is silent complicity in the crime. And so it's unfortunate. We should never have gone through this. We are being forced into it. We'll have to fight and fight until we get out of it. Over to you, sir.
Barrister Fru.
Yes, buddy. I would look at this whole scenario from two fronts. In every war, people escape wars to wherever they think it is safe. Whether they have people there or they don't have people there, they think it's safe. In our case, when it started, one Joseph who was the senior divisional of Manfe, decided to issue a quit order to all the villages in Manu. And of course, the safe place where Manu people could escape to, the nearest place, was Nigeria. And I would argue that that situation is better than the other parts of Ambazonia who escaped to the nearest place being in La République du Cameroun. From Bamenda is Bafoussam, down to Douala and Yaoundé. For the southwest is Douala, Yaoundé, Konsamba, and you name it. And I will argue, and I have the facts. The United Nations High Commission for Refugees protects our people in Nigeria, even if they are not doing a 100% job, but that is a role that they are playing. But in La République du Cameroun, because of international, excuse me, because of international conspiracy, nobody in the international community serving in Yaoundé has raised a finger to protect the IDP, what they call IDPs, and we call them refugees because they are running into a foreign country which happens to be our enemy. But it was the only place they could run away from the war in Ambazonia. They ran into Douala, they ran into Yaoundé, but where they have no protection. And the way the situation is now is worse than when it started. When they ran, at the time it started, the hostility was not as it is now. Why is it so difficult now? Is because La République has concluded that these Ambazonians have gone. So these other ones that are coming here, we will have to make sure that we do what we can do, either to eliminate them or to maltreat them so that they can go back to where they come from. I just watched a video the other day how businesses in Oja in Yaoundé, they came and looked at the whole place and demolish only the businesses that are owned by Ambazonians. They diminish and they actually look only for businesses that are owned by Ambazonians and their houses, and they demolish and destroy their businesses. The video is right there. What La Republic is doing to our IDPs, what international community calls IDP, and we call refugees in La Republic, is that they are torturing them, killing them, making sure that they tell them that go back to your goddamn country. And since there is still firefighting in Ambazonia between the enemy and our forces, these people are unable to return. La République du Cameroun has decided to fight the war now on two fronts. Fight our people on their territory and fight our people on our territory. And that's what is happening. And the international community is in complicity. Can you imagine what is happening in Yaoundé against what they call Anglophones and we call Ambazonians? In Yaoundé, the international community, Yaoundé is full of international organizations. Nobody, no organization, no UN organization has raised any issue with La République du Cameroun on the treatment of English-speaking people still living in Yaoundé or who have come into Yaoundé in their large number, running away from the war. This is not the first war in the world. Ambazonia is at war with La République du Cameroun, and the only safe place that our people who are running away from that war, particularly the younger generation and the older ones, they run into Yaoundé, they run into Douala, big cities, and they are meeting and they are now being tortured. It is a crime to even mention to any law enforcement official in Yaoundé or Douala that you are an English-speaking person. They will make sure that they torture you till you live or you die in the process. The case of those 4 children in Douala, where they demolished the structures that they were living in, and the 4 children disappeared till today. Nobody knows where they are. They might have been killed and buried somewhere. That is what we are going through. And the only solution we have is to fight and make sure that if we have an opportunity to bring back our people, we start bringing them right now, because they are not safe in La République du Cameroun. And I want to also talk about these 2 lawyers. One pretends to run a human rights organization, and the other is a political activist. I'm not calling names. Let me finish.
No, Barista Fru, a moment, please. I was just about talking.
Can I land first before you go?
Land, please. Let me coordinate the program, please. So I was just about talking about that, and I wanted us to actually talk about the reaction of human rights groups, human rights organizations. We may even call names. I don't mind even if you call their names, because
I will come to that. I will come to that. All I'm saying in the particular case of refugees, or what they call IDP, they defined genocide they give a different definition of genocide than what the world sees as genocide. Can you imagine that 2 lawyers are now telling 2 Ambazonian lawyers, so-called Ambazonian lawyers, are now saying, because you run away from war, the enemy has a right to kill your own brothers who have remained there, gather them and slaughter them, and that will not amount to genocide. That is the definition given by Agobala and Simon Monzo, 2 prominent Ambazonian lawyers. And I am ashamed of a lawyer who cannot define what genocide means, especially a lawyer who is a university teacher and another lawyer who runs an NGO for the human rights. Then let them tell me what is genocide. Means that they don't know the definition of genocide, and to tie genocide with the displacement of people running away from war. Is that the definition of genocide? For a lawyer, it is disgraceful. I am calling out Agbobala and Tamon Monzo to redefine what genocide is all about, and know that
Yeah, but
our people have suffered genocide in the hands of La République du Cameroun, and they are the ones that have run into their territory, have been tortured and slaughtered.